Are you ticked off? Are you done yet? Because I am. I'm livid. This is our justice system out the door. Have you lost trust in them? I have. They had an opportunity today, folks. They had a chance to make it right, and they blew it. Your vote matters. Here now to assess is Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer. Really serendipitous to get you on there, Chairman. Today we booked you. We didn't know this was happening. As I said, my jaw dropped when I saw Garland come to the microphone and announce David Weiss as a special counsel. And then this trick for Hunter Biden, not Joe Biden. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, how ironic. The day after I announced that we put together a case that I believe will win in court to subpoena Joe Biden's bank records, lo and behold, Merrick Garland strikes again, and he strikes with a move that I don't think anyone would have predicted. He appoints a special counsel, but not just any special counsel, the same U.S. attorney who had spent 5 years investigating Hunter Biden, who allowed the statute of limitations to expire on most of his tax crimes, who tried to negotiate a sweetheart plea deal that a judge kicked out of court less than 2 weeks ago. This is the person Merrick Garland appointed. This is another example of this Department of Justice being weaponized, trying to do everything in their ability to obstruct congressional investigation. But it's not going to disrupt our investigation. We're going to continue to move forward and do what we've been doing over the last 6 months, is that's finding new evidence and presenting the truth to the American people.
Chairman, did it blow you away as much as it blew me away when Merrick Garland stood in front of the American people and said, well, this prosecutor said he wanted to be the special counsel, so I named him the special counsel?
I mean, what a joke. What a joke. I mean, I about fainted when I got a text. I was in Princeton, Kentucky when I got the text. I mean, this is an attorney general who has lost the confidence of the American people. He has done more to damage our justice system than any human being in recent memory. And here we on the Oversight Committee, for all practical purposes, have been the special counsel for the past 6 months. We've produced more evidence than anyone that's supposedly investigating this criminal activity by the Biden family. And right as we get to the point to where we've traced it to Joe Biden, and we're at a position where we can win in court to fight their attorneys and get their actual personal bank records, he comes out with this. This is another attempt to try to obstruct. They're going to try to use this in court when they say, no, we can't give the Oversight Committee our bank records because there's an ongoing investigation by David Weiss.
How obvious. They don't care. They don't. You know what it is, Congress? I hate to do this because it's the middle finger to the American people. It's literally going, I don't care what you think of what I'm about to do, but here it is, and they're giving it to us.
They think the American people are stupid. They think that the American people aren't paying attention to this because the mainstream media is not reporting it. But Rasmussen poll just came out and showed 63% of Americans are keeping up with this investigation, and they believe that something bad has happened with the Biden family. That's pretty amazing considering that none of the mainstream media is covering this. Thankfully, people have social media and people have other sources of news like podcasts and things like that. Every American who works hard and pays taxes understands this. The Bidens took $21 million from our enemies around the world. They tried to hide it through fake companies. They didn't pay a penny of taxes on it. They marketed Joe Biden as being able to sell access and influence to some bad people in some bad countries around the world. And the President of the United States wants to say, well, he just talked to him about the weather. I mean, nobody's buying that. And this move by Merrick Garland puts an exclamation point on the fact that this government is trying to cover up what I think is the biggest political scandal of my lifetime.
I so many questions. You know, one of the things you released on Wednesday, I asked Trump about it. I had an interview with Trump. He couldn't believe it either. The $142,300 that I guess a Kazakhstani oligarch or someone sent to Archer and Hunter, and the very next day, these clowns, these fools, sent it to a car company, a sports car company to buy a sports car. You know, here's my question, though, Chairman. If I do a wire transfer for $10,000, I have to fill out a form. I have to let the government know. How are these guys transferring millions of dollars without the banks at least raising some red flags?
That's the thing. The banks did raise red flags. The banks have sent the Treasury Cabinet over 170 suspicious activity reports on bank violations by the Bidens. And, you know, they waited the 24 hours to take that $142,000 wire and then buy the car with it, because you have to sit money in the bank for 24 hours. I can't tell you how many wires went from foreign nationals to their shell companies, and then they had to sit them there for 24 hours. Then exactly 24 hours and 1 minute later, they would wire it to either another shell company or another Biden family member. That's called money laundering. That's called money laundering. You do money laundering for two reasons. You do it to hide the source of the revenue, which the source were foreign nationals in countries that we weren't even supposed to be doing business with as Americans to begin with, from bad people who are now either in jail or on the run from jail. And the second reason is to deceive the IRS so you don't have to pay taxes on it. Every hardworking American who has to pay 40% of their hard-earned income to the IRS for taxes should be offended that not only did our president's family sell our country out to our enemies around the world, they didn't pay a penny of taxes on it. And they're driving around in Porsches when everyone else is struggling, trying to keep gas in their car for an old used clunker. I mean, this is how arrogant Merrick Garland and Joe Biden are to do something like this. But I want people to be assured that we're not going to stop with the Oversight Committee. This is another wrench they've tried to throw in our investigation, but we are continuing on about a biweekly basis, releasing more information, more evidence of corruption, more proof that Joe Biden was front and center in this influence peddling scheme, and that should concern every American.
Well, we appreciate it, and I'm glad you're doing it. And I hope you come back on and tell us what each time you release these tranches of information. We want to hear. I'm also glad you're not giving up, and I'm hoping this unites the GOP finally to get all 226 congressional members of the GOP to realize it's time to impeach these people, Garland and Biden. I'm blown away, Chairman. I hope we stay on it, and I hope you continue.
We will.
But we do really appreciate your time. Chairman James Comer, thank you.
Thanks for having me.